Ross house.
Yeah. So Joe, Stephen wants to talk to Serious Joe on the interview. Some questions about sports. Do you want to do Serious Joe?
Of course, I'll do whatever he wants. I thought, Steve, I thought you
Hey,
said
man.
how to do it in voices.
No. We're gonna. He's gonna ask you the questions about your voices. We got everything written down, man. He's like a professional interviewer, Joe.
Yeah. So are you taping this?
Yeah, we're doing it live on. Wait a minute, I'm telling Joe. He has to tell me.
Give him hell, Stevie.
He has to tell me every freaking time to turn the phone sideways. He's the producer and everything. I'm just a freaking slave. So I'm gonna introduce you, and then he's gonna ask you the questions and go from there. You ready, Steve?
All right.
Yes, sir.
Are we ready? You ready, Joe?
I guess.
Well done.
Here we are live, talking sports with another episode of Talking Sports with the Legend. Tonight's guest, Joe Conklin, a local comedian from Philadelphia.
Yes, sir. Where were you born? Born and raised.
Wait a minute. Is that Steve McGarry Jr., the legend from the bowling team that I met down at Erie Lanes a few years ago? What's happening, Stevie? What do you got? Questions here? All right. Where was I born?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And you were what schools did you go to, Joe?
You know what? I think I was born in Nazareth Hospital. I don't know why my mom was up the Northeast, but I'm pretty sure it was Nazareth. However, I was born on Phillip Street. That's where I was taken back to, in the Greater Alney region.
And then what schools did you go to, Joe?
I served kindergarten at Finletter at Front and Spencer. 8 years at Catholic school at St. Helena, and then 4 years at Cardinal Doherty. They had asked me to leave a couple times, but I hung in there at Cardinal Doherty. Then 4 more years at Temple University, communications department, radio, television, and film. I'm not quite the big school at Spring Garden College that your father went to, but
yeah,
he could have went anywhere. He could have went anywhere, Stephen. He chose Temple.
I didn't excel at athletics like he and Jerry Laughlin of Laughlin Inc. Are they sponsoring this?
No, not yet.
Yo, right. Steve, is this for ESPN?
It's for his resume and his YouTube page. Actually, it's on his every week. He's got an episode.
HBO, PGW, PSC&G.
He's got it all.
Did you play sports?
I was a watcher. I was a mediocre athlete. I ran track for a year or two, and no, I didn't do much else. I played intramurals, and then senior year I mustered up enough guts to convince them to make me the announcer of the basketball games. But no, I did not. I was a spectator as far as sports is concerned. Unfortunately.
What was your first job, comedian job?
First job, what? The first job you got paid to do a comedy show.
Oh, comedy. Wow. Yeah, you don't get paid for a while. I did a lot of free stuff for a while. I'm pretty sure my first job where I got paid was at the George Washington Motor Lodge in King of Prussia. It's no longer there.
Oh God, I remember that place.
Yeah, that was like it's like a Home Depot now. I think it turned into Sportsters, and then I'm pretty sure that was the joint. A nice room, actually. I made about $25. I think they're still paying $25 for guest sets.
How many fans you met?
Do you remember, Joe, how you met Stephen?
Oh yeah, at Erie Lanes. I just told you. I'm pretty sure that was the first time Erie Lanes.
Stephen remembers everything, Joe. When he remembers he met somebody, he reminded me of my wife. We were
Where
staying
were
down.
we?
We were staying down Jerry Loughlin's place in Margate, and you guys were doing the WIP show.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's the Sunset Cafe.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
That's
Okay,
how long ago it was.
You must have been a little jobber, Stevie.
Yeah,
You,
he was. Yeah, he was a little guy at that point. So ask him
about
that question.
okay.
That's a great one there.
That was fun though down there. We had some good times on that pier, Margate. Good shows.
Ask him the next question.
Did you ever have a real job?
You're killing me. What do you mean a real job? Work at radio, making people laugh.
No. When you were going to high school and college.
I know. I've had 1,000 of them. I was a paper boy. I had a paper route, and I had to leave that to work at Cardinal Doherty. I was on the maintenance staff there, and I got fired from there for keeping my route. I still was doing my papers on the clock, so I gave my route away, and then they still let me go. And then I also worked at St. Joseph's Bingo Hall up in the Northeast at Diston and Dittman in Tacony for a few years.
Calling out the numbers?
No. We were selling sodas and donuts and hot dogs and stuff. My sisters worked there. Okay. I only lasted about a year. They worked there for years. They made a lot of money. It was a good job. I met a lot of characters in there. Yeah, the callers under the 067. I'd be yelling out, "Send it!" Anyway, that was up in Diston and Dittman. I had a million jobs. What else? I sold pots and pans for a while during college. It was called the American Future System. We sold cookware and fine china. It did demonstrations in the home.
Get out of here. That's awesome.
The second year was summer job. Second year I was a manager, and I actually hired people. I was you hire your staff. I went to Bermuda twice at the end of the year. Before that, I worked at Fleer's Gum Factory for the summer before that. At that 10th and Somerville, slinging gum. I was asked to leave that job. Actually, not asked. I couldn't return. I went to interview the second year, and they said I had disciplinary issues. I used to pick up the PAs. The telephone was a PA system. If you dialed 2 or something, I would sing in songs.
Oh, God bless you, man. Joe, you know what's funny about that Fleer? We knew people that worked there. Stephen used to go to my wife's work at in Mayfair, and there was a guy who gave Stephen a sheet of Fleer cards that uncut.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did you like that, Steve?
Yeah, he gave it to his. He gave him to his brother. My son-in-law's got a big collection, so he's got it with his collection.
Yeah, they were the coolest things in the world. The uncut cards, like a big poster.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Yeah, that's when they got out of the gum business. They started making cards and they moved to Mount Laurel. I'm pretty sure. But I worked. Yeah, that was nuts. Half of Olney worked there.
So when did you stop? Like when did you have to stop
working?
How old were you when you had to stop doing those kind of jobs and just doing all comedy?
Well, it was kind of weird because I always, did impressions, and I wanted to be the Phillies announcer. I wanted to be Harry Callis. That was my idol, Harry Callis. Here's the 2-2 pitch, blowing away for a ball. See, it's never a ball. It's always out of here. Anyway, so I thought I was going to be an announcer. I guess I am an announcer, and I wanted to go into communication. So I always knew I was going to Temple because, my parents couldn't afford it, and I couldn't afford anything more than that. We took the subway down. Cost me about $600 a year, I think. I probably couldn't get into Temple today. I'm almost certain of that. It's a very good school nowadays. It was a great school then. They were #1 communication school in the country. So I was just lucky to be close to Temple. And I started with announcing and stuff like that. And halfway through there, I don't know who told me, but I got the message that the money in this business is in sales. And I was already selling, cookware and china for the summers. but I had to get, but the key to my employment. So anyway, I started thinking towards, selling broadcast time. But the key to my landing a job was junior year, summer between junior and senior year, I got an internship. Internships are the greatest thing if you want to try to get a job somewhere. It's the reason to go to college. You can get an internship, you start making contacts, you get your face known around there. Anyway, I got an internship at Channel 17, WPHL 17 Philadelphia. Sid Doherty was in the booth back there. But I was in sales, helping the sales department out there, sales assistants, making copies and things like that. And, doing nothing really, but just getting your face known. And they were like a breeding ground for sales jobs in the area for like small radio stations in the area. I didn't realize that, but that was the path I was on. Next year was my senior year. I graduated. I used my contacts at WPHL to get some interviews. I got an interview at a radio station in Trenton, WKXW, WBUD, a combo AM FM. It's now New Jersey 101.5. They were in Ewingville, Trenton, and they were hiring salespeople. So I started sales. I lasted 6 months, started getting antsy. I really wanted to be behind the mic and on stage somewhere. And then I quit there and started doing stand-up. But the thing that the contact that landed me a job back in the industry was about, let's see, 2 months maybe after I was out of that job in Trenton. A buddy of mine had moved on to, actually, no, it was almost a year later. A friend of mine who I was in sales with in Trenton, Dave Dobler. Dobler got hired in Philly at WCAU AM. And he called me up and said, hey, we're going to happy hour out on City Line Avenue Fridays, I think. Like AI's old place, Friday, holla hand. Anyway, so we were in there and just having some drinks. He was with the salesperson from the FM, who was also a disc jockey on the FM station, WCAU FM. He said, the new morning guy is looking for a guy that does voices. Dave said, Joe does voices. Give him a few voices. I gave him Wilson Good and Rodney Dangerfield and Eddie Murphy. And he said, you better make a tape and get that over there. So that night I made a tape on my cassette, my little handheld cassette player, got it over there. And they said, this is pretty good. And they brought me in on a, you did pretty good today. Come back tomorrow. Or you can come back next week. And it was week to week to week. And then Terry got a contract and I got a contract. It was like, wow, that was my biggest thrill of my life. I got a job in radio.
And what year was that, Joe?
That was 1986.
Wow.
86. I landed the job in Trenton summer of 84, after I graduated in 84. Lasted for about 6 months and then started doing stand-up. And then Dobler calls me, and in the following March or February, and I went out and talked to them, and then they put me on the air. So that was 86. On WCAU FM, Hot Hits, Glenn Kalina, Rich Hawkins, Bill O'Brien, all the boss jocks. Yeah, I was 24. And then I learned quickly that nothing lasts in this business. They changed formats. Listen to this. I got a job. That was 86. And then I got hired in 86. By 87, they hired me full time. Then it was in the Channel 10 building. So Channel 10's doing a new show called Live on City Line, and they're interviewing potential hosts for the show. And some of the producers, I guess I was familiar with, they said, listen, can you stand in? Can you sit in and pretend that you're different people so they can interview you? Like celebrities, like, can you be Jack Nicholson or, some Sylvester Stallone? And yeah, no problem. So I did that. And somebody liked what they saw. I said, this guy's pretty good. We got to get him on this show. So they made me the announcer at the beginning of the show. And I used to come on, put me on camera. It's 5 o'clock and it's time for Live on City Line. Here's your hosts, Matt Lauer and Sheila Allen Stevens. I met and worked with Matt Lauer for 3 months. So that show goes by. It's like the greatest thing. I'm working in the morning and the afternoon, 2 jobs, and they both ended within like a couple months. WCUFM went to oldies, and they killed the live on City Line. They went to local news, and Matt Lauer went to New York and became a big star. That door locks automatically, by the way, Steve. Okay, it's a joke. All right, what else? What else?
So now Steven says, tell him as an that one.
Tell
Everybody about your career
at WIP.
like when did that start? I told him about Jody Mack show, but I don't remember what year it was.
Yeah, so like I said, that all went down in 87 when my daughter Kelly was born too. I got the rude awakening of this business is unsteady because they changed formats. They went from hot hits to oldies in the fall of 87. Then my daughter Kelly is born in October 28th, 87. A week later, they killed the TV show too. So I'm out of a job. I lose 2 jobs. I got a family now. I got to go back to mobile disc jockeying, doing weddings, trying to hustle comedy gigs in clubs, local clubs. I had it every Thursday night at Cahoolie's after Joe Bilby left. Cahoolie's up on Bustleton Ave.
Yeah.
Ruling Seafood every Tuesday.
Oh my God.
Bottom line, I was kicking around. You had to find work and fill
You
out.
work, wait, you worked at Ruling Seafood on Tuesday nights?
Comedy nights at Ruling Seafood. We put a microphone and we did that side room there.
Oh, I love that room, man. I used to love that place, man. That was the best.
All high tops. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was crazy. And they, the seafood takeout. Not exactly the Latin casino, but it was close. So I kicked around and I did part-time stuff with like a little bit of YSP and MMR. I did some day work, like a couple in freelance stuff, some for the promotions department. It got me on the air a little bit. And it wasn't until WIP kind of kicked in with Brookie and the Rookie and going all sports that I started harassing the radio station for a job. As soon as I lost my CAU job, I sent my tapes out to everybody. And, that's basically the routine. Try, hit every station in town. And then IP came along. They started doing sports and this is like 90. And, I sent a tape to the morning show, which was Brookshire and Cataldi, the program director, which was Tom Bigby, and one of the producers. I forget who the morning show producer was, but I heard back from no one. And I actually called Bigby, the boss, and he gave me some condescending, we don't do comedy here. Comedy's contrived. Our hosts are spontaneous. So I wound up working for that guy for about 15 years. Anyway, we went at it all the time with Bigby. Bigby's another legend. Stevie and Bigby. So the 3 tapes to WIP. I go, nobody responded. I finally got a call with Bigby. He said, "You're out of here. We don't need you." Somehow, the tape is sitting around in the station. The afternoon guy was Jody Mack. He was produced by a fellow by the name of Joe Wechter. Joe Wechter's been the morning show producer for 30 years or whatever. But Joe Wechter listened to the tape. It's a foot away from the trash can, sitting in somebody's cubicle. He throws it in, pops in, and he says, "Hey, this guy's pretty good." And the thing that hooked him was my Harry Callis and Whitey bit, where I said, "All right, Whitey, what do you got? Well, we want to say happy birthday out there to Marilyn McCluskey of Absecon, New Jersey." "Yeah. Good place to get gas, Absecon." "Yep." And the pause and something with the yelp was like, it got Wechter, and he loved it. And he Jody Mack calls me up and says, "Yeah, like we got on the tape. I think we can get you on the air. Appreciate it." So then I started calling Jody Mack once a week, and I went on for about a year and a half till 1993 when the World Series, Phillies were in the World Series. I did this bit called I sang the song parody when something happened with the hotels in Philadelphia, and they
Legionnaires
sent
disease.
what's that? Yeah, that was 76.
Yeah, I was ready to say. Wait a minute.
No, there was a shortage. They had to send them out to Conshohocken. The team stayed in Conchi at the West Conchi Marriott. So that was kind of like a little story, and I did a bit on it called. We changed "Oh Canada" to "Yo Canada." Yo Canada, we're sending you out. Well, I don't know what it was, but they played it on the morning show. They heard it on Jody's show, replayed it on the morning show. Then they did that a couple times, and finally. Morgani and Cataldi said, well, let's put him on our show. So they brought him in. Bigby actually sat me down and said, let me cut to the chase. We want to get you on the morning show. What's it going to take? What are you doing now? You working anywhere? So he hired me. And then they hired me like a few days a week. And that was in October, November. After the new year, they hired me full time on the morning show with Tony Bruno, Al Morgantry, and Angelo Castaldi.
It was great when Jody was Tuesdays, and I would only listen to him on Tuesdays just to hear your bit, and then I would flip it off to another station.
Thanks, brother.
But I love Jody. I love Jody, and that's what got me hooked to start listening to WIP. It was him. And then when, of course, when you went to the morning show, then I started listening to it every day.
Jody was outstanding. He was exposing the rest of those guys because he knew everything about sports. He was like an encyclopedia. But it was Thursday, Steve. Thursdays at 2.
Oh man, I thought it was
Thursdays at 2.
Thursdays at 2. There we go. Now Steven's got a great question for you, Joe. Go ahead, Steve.
Were you the class clown?
Hold on.
Oh God.
No, I wasn't the class clown. No. Big Daddy gave me this. It's George Carlin.
Okay.
Nice.
Unfortunately, yeah, I gotta think I was, definitely. Yeah, I got in enough trouble trying to make people laugh. Yeah.
All right, Steve. There, Joe. These are the hard hitting questions now.
I love my mother.
What is your favorite Philadelphia sports team?
Now this is regardless of current ownership or lineup.
Yeah, like what's your favorite team to follow?
Gotta say the Eagles. I would say the Eagles. It used to be the Phillies when I was a kid growing up. Phillies were everything. But football is the intensity of the sports fan especially in Philadelphia. So yeah, I gotta say Eagles.
Here
Are we
you go.
still on?
Yeah, this is it. This is the hard hitting one here, boy.
What do you think about the Eagles quarterback situation in the season?
Let's see. How long can you hang in there with Wentz? I'm trying to think of what screwed him up. Was it the fact that they drafted Hurts? You cannot, even though you keep him in there. I mean, they kept him in there this long because they didn't want to ruin his confidence. And, once you pull the quarterback, you can't really go back to it. But they had to get him out of there. You can't lose games. He wasn't changing. He wasn't getting any better. So you got to go with Hurts. I'm curious. I'd like to, for the whole year, all we saw him was 1-2 little plays, and he was throwing 10-yard passes. I was thinking, I don't know if this guy's any better. I didn't see him. Now we saw him throw the ball down the field at least a couple times last week. He threw that touchdown. He threw like a 30-yarder. Yeah, man, let's see him open it up. I didn't, I know they had the Alabama, Oklahoma controversy thing in college and all, but I'm curious if he could throw that bomb. And, man, I don't know what happened to Wentz. It's mind-boggling.
I think
It's gotta be him.
I think it might have been the concussion. I really do.
Mhm.
You think about it. He got knocked out of that last game, and he
Yeah,
came
but
back.
what you mean he's gun shy? Is that what
No,
did it
I'm
make him
saying
gun?
when you get them concussions, his heart had hit that turf, and that he hit him right in his helmet, and he hit the
Yeah.
turf.
So you
And
mean his head is messed up?
yes,
Why they even let him drive? Why should he be able to drive a car then?
exactly. But that's the
Go to
thing.
the
People,
store.
well, Joe, for real, people who have these things, they're afraid to admit it, especially because they're afraid to like tell their doctor, the doctor, because then the
Yeah.
doctor's going to want to run scans and everything else. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I
hear you.
just think it's either psychologically he needs to go to that guy who's on Joel Fish.
Dr. Joe Fish.
Yeah.
Hey, Hi, doctor. Can you help me?
He sounds
I speak with a soft voice. Can you help me with that?
he sounds like
Hey.
your other guy that used to do a lot.
Hey, Dr. Joe Fish is a great dude.
He is. I love him, man. I love the
He's
show.
a good
I
guy. I
love what
talked
he's
to
on.
him. He used to come in all the time. Nobody's allowed in anymore. But yeah, he's a fun guy. Funny.
All right, this is one of Steven's favorite questions for you for your voices. Go ahead, Steve.
What was the hardest voice that you had? What was the hardest voice?
That you had to do, and how
Try
long
to do it, yeah.
How long did it take you to get it down?
It's all the ones you don't hear me doing. It's kind of like potluck. Potluck. I don't know how to describe it. Like, for example, like Trump came right away. Steve, you're doing a tremendous job. This is a fantastic interview. It's probably the best, the greatest interview, maybe ever. It's true. Like, he just came right away. And like a guy like John Madden, I was trying to do him for years and years, and I couldn't get him. And then Frank Caliendo starts doing boom right there, and then you start kind of broke the code a little and teaches you how to do them. He heard something that I didn't hear, or, right there. And then then I start doing John Madden. Probably not as good as Caliendo. However, I can put him in my stable. Like Brett Favre, the great Brett Favre. He was a great player as a Packer, but when he put that purple helmet on, I like him better as a Viking. Brett Favre, purple helmet, boom, whatever. So anybody you don't hit, like Biden is tough. I'm working on him. Some of them you get right away. Some of them you don't. Some of them are better than others. Some of them are mediocre. But Steve, let's try it. Hopefully we can bring folks together and we can get Joe Biden down. Come on, man. Listen, here's the deal, man. It's easy enough. Get a couple catchphrases that he stutters a little bit, says something, does a little mispronunciation, but he's a good guy. We're all Americans. So it'll be better. That Biden will be better.
I think it's pretty good, man. I listened to it the other day when you first did it. I was laughing my butt off, man.
My man.
All right, Steve. How about this one, Joe?
How many voices can you do?
Did you ever write down or catalog exactly how many?
We used to have a list. It was about 180, and then I kept adding, and I didn't take off any dead people. So I was up to about 220 for a while, and I haven't put the list out in a long while. But when I was hustling, trying to get a job on the radio, Cataldi killed me one day. It was beautiful. I listed everybody like Squidly Diddly,
Yes.
all Chumley, and then I put Green Acres, Mr. Haney, and I wrote in there David Jansen, because David Jansen on every side that you're always gonna. You're trying to be found. I don't know. I did a half. I knew I could do him if I really needed to, but he zeroed in. He had my list when I was first starting, and he said, Conklin's got 200 voices, and David Jansen, and Wechter would fire that sounder of The Fugitive, dun dun dun, and he just kept killing me on this David Jansen thing. I never did David Jansen. I just put the name in there to fill out the row. Anyway. What were we talking about?
That was it. How many voices you did? So over 200 for sure.
Yeah. It depends on if you want to exaggerate or not. If you that I actually do that have done in my act.
Right.
I don't know. They come and go. They go in and out of the act with relevance. Like
Yeah,
Humphrey
it was-
Bogart.
I can
I know.
do Humphrey Bogart, but nobody knows who he is anymore. Gee,
Well, when you
that's fine.
Joe, when
Hey,
you said
Pilgrim.
Latin Casino, my dad worked there in
Wow.
in like 1970 or so when he was out of the Navy. He was working there, but as in the kitchen and all. And oh man,
In Jersey or Philly?
yeah, Jersey, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I didn't go to I never been to the Latin Casino when it was a Latin Casino. It changed to Emerald City when we were, in the late 70s.
Yeah,
or
I was
80s.
gonna
We went
say
to,
you were too young to go to the Latin Casino.
but I saw Iggy Pop and the Split Ends there with Richie Guinan, and Jerry Lachlan might have been in that crew. Jigs and
Get
a
out.
couple other guys. We got in. Iggy Pop kicked me in the head with the mic because I kept pulling on his cord. Anyway, Emerald City, great spot.
All right,
70 in Cuthbert.
Another one for Serious Joe. Go ahead, Steve.
Do you have a favorite athlete?
Favorite athlete. Jay Johnstone was my favorite Philly. He just died. Play Jay every day. I don't get hung up on athletes as much in adulthood. I used to when I was a kid. Let's see. We're getting texts in here. My buddy Paul Moore. Good job. I'm looking with the McGarrys. He's your boy, Steve-O. Let's see. Favorite athlete. Shoot. Who do I like? I like, the typical Philly guys, the hustlers, the overachievers. Utley, of course. I don't know. But who do I like on the Eagles? Man, there's so many guys.
He was looking for like the Jay Johnstone type, because that's what I told him. I said, Joe's about my age, so he'll probably give you somebody from back in the day, and that's a good one. I like I love Jay Johnstone when he played.
And Boa, of course. We
Yes.
love Boa. My brother loved him. Because
Boa was the heart and soul of that team, man.
Yes, he was the overachiever. Boa's your typical that. There's not enough Larry Boas around. These guys, whatever. I mean, the world has changed, the business has changed, so you can't compare them. But Boa, it came with his attitude, and he wanted to win. He wanted to be there. When he was the manager, he couldn't be a manager because he was too nuts. The sense of urgency. There's no sense of urgency with anything anymore. Well, Boa had it every second he was on the field.
Every day, every game too. When he coached, he took him so hard. When he lost, man, he was.
Me and my dad went for his first game. Philly's manager.
Yeah. I met him. I met him too at a Special Olympics golf outing one time. He showed up.
Nice guy.
Melrose Park. Super nice guy.
I thought he was going to be a little ornery. But he was very personable, very outgoing, very nice guy.
Dude, you have a role model?
Did I have a role model? My two older brothers, maybe. Lyndon B. Johnson. I'm kidding. Not really. Not right. Like for entertainment?
Yeah.
I remember Rich Little was big when I was a kid, and I wanted to be the Rich Little. My parents took me to see Rich Little at the Valley Forge Music Fair. There's another one.
That's where I graduated college from.
What? No, I thought you were Spring Garden.
That's where we graduated from. Spring Garden didn't have a campus, man.
Oh, I thought it was up in Chestnut Hill.
It was one building. It was one building.
You had to go the event.
Yeah, we had to go.
Graduate.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You can go to Convention Hall like we did in high school?
Yeah. No, that was too big for Spring Garden.
What was the biggest crowd at one of your shows?
And the Wing Bowl don't count. I told Steven, make sure we tell you the Wing Bowl don't count.
The biggest crowd?
Yeah, like down at, I told him I saw you down at AC with Big Daddy. I don't know how many people it held, but like the biggest venue.
Sorry, where were you?
AC. We went down to AC. Me and my wife, remember you gave us tickets to see you with Big Daddy. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Borgata. That was about a 900 and some. That was at least 950. I know it was under 1,000, but that was right up there. And me and Big Daddy with probably the highest ticketed shows, the highest number of tickets we sold. But we did the Pittman Theater every year also for shoot.
Yeah.
This will be the first year we're not going to do it for 10 or 15 years, and that's a 1,000-seater. That's a beautiful. That's the most beautiful theater I was ever in or ever played. It's an old vaudeville. It's a movie. It looks like a movie theater, and they got this beautiful balcony. It's like it's half the seating. It's almost right on top of you. There's 1,000 people. There's 1,000 seats in there, and it feels like it's about a 400-seat theater. But yeah,
cool.
that would
That's
have
cool.
to be it.
Well, if they end the COVID thing and you guys have that back, we'll definitely go out to see that show. I'd love to see. I like those kind of places.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Here you go. This is the next question for you.
A life one.
Well, yeah.
Life one I have written down. Will you be back up horse after the pandemic?
Well, we just got some bad news this afternoon. The Governor Welf, he shut down the surrounding counties now. So till December 3rd, the casino isn't even going to be open. But yeah, we got that thing a few months back that the goal is to start shows up again at parks. They got no entertainment now, not even the big room, not our little room. Nothing's open right now, but they were shooting for March. Now, I think that's wishful thinking at this point, but keep your fingers crossed, Steve. Say a prayer, get this thing licked and get back to normal. Help all these people who are getting clobbered with the restaurant people and all this. It's horrible. I got a question. Why is it safe to go into Home Depot and Lowe's and the supermarket and the mall? And it's all indoors, but you can't go to a restaurant.
And that's what I can't. I guess they're saying the amount of time you're spending in there, but it's a half hour. If you're in a mall, you're in there for something.
Hey, I can eat
3-4 hours.
I can eat in a half an hour, and I'm wandering around the store sometimes for an hour and a half.
Exactly. Look at the
Whatever.
the one.
I
Like
don't know the answer.
The one restaurant owner, he went into the food gallery at one of those malls, and he took a video of all the people, and they had the whole thing full of chairs. Everybody was sitting around each other. It was ridiculous. It was right after they announced it. It was the thing for Black Friday and all. They were so pissed.
Well, let's hope that God these numbers come down. The vaccine's on its way.
By the way, I'm very excited about the vaccine. As long as Joe Biden doesn't get any credit for it, this is my vaccine. Okay, you get all the credit, Steve.
All right, Joe. He's got to ask you the other question, Steve. Who would you want to have dinner with?
Oh yeah.
3 people like in the industry, like.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Elvis Costello. Shoot, I already had dinner with Larry Bow and Charlie Manuel, or a snack. That was pretty fun. Wow. Who's buying? Let's see. Elvis.
Steve, you don't know who Elvis Costello is, do you? He's a singer that sang back.
I just don't know where to begin.
I was into Elvis. Let's see. I don't know. Who the heck do I want to talk to?
How about like somebody in the sports realm?
Nah, probably not.
No. How about some comedians, man? Nobody.
Eddie Murphy, Elvis Costello, and let's say Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
Oh, see what Jimmy Carter said. I better hurry up. He's about the mid-90s. He already announced his death
a couple years ago.
No way, man. He's getting inoculated on TV, man.
Is he? Yeah.
Did you hear about that? Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
Oh, all the ex-presidents.
Yeah. Jimmy Carter,
Yeah.
Obama, and
He's
Clinton.
a great man. He's a special man.
Yeah.
He was a pushover as a president. He didn't do a ton, but he did enough. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he did a lot. He did a lot on the
the
international front that a lot of people didn't give him credit for.
Yeah.
Did a lot.
My brother Billy was a great softball player too.
Great softball player. Well, Joe, thanks for taking time out of your
Yeah.
busy schedule, man.
Thank you, man.
Really appreciate this.
All right,
Yeah.
yo, Steve, how you making out with your drinking?
Huh?
You keeping up?
I'm trying,
Keeping up, all right?
trying.
He's-
As long as my mom
I
doesn't
was
cut me off.
looking at your bio. I was.
He said, as long as his mom doesn't cut him off.
Yeah.
I thought you said, "Mom, my mom doesn't come in." No, she's cutting you off completely sometimes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, I
Always.
saw your assistant coach up at Holy Family for the women's team.
Mhm.
You surround yourself with pretty girls. You know, dummy, right? Soccer. Good
Yeah.
athlete too.
Yeah.
All right. I love
All right,
you, man.
Joe. Thank you
Keep up
very
the good
much,
work.
man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it very much.
I'll stop down at Broaden Federal and pop in one of these days.
Thanks for the commercial, Joe. You're all right, man.
Say hi to Jerry.
I
All
will.
right, see you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh God, he makes me freaking cry. All right, let's do the picks. Freaking crying.